Kev, listen, I don't know if you know much about my background, but you know I'm from Camden, New Jersey, right?
Yes, I do.
My
Yes, I do.
grandfather, he was in the industry. He was a stunt guy, background actor, concierge to the Temptations. So I would see my grandfather. I remember he was on Taxi, as an extra, but that gave me this idea like, oh my God, look at him. He's on TV, right? So as a little girl, I always wanted to act, but it seemed like it was so far away from me. I dropped out of school in the ninth grade. I don't know if you knew that,
I
but
did not
at
know that.
14, I dropped out of school, got a job bartending at a strip club. Do you know I used to be a stripper?
No, this is all
Okay,
great. I knew
okay,
that you. I
okay,
knew. I
okay.
knew that. I knew the side of Camden, and I knew that there was like some hardships involved, but I
Yes.
never knew like
Well,
why and what the
it's
decisions were.
Oh my God, Kev, it was like, I started doing cocaine at 14. I would hang out at these after hour clubs and stuff. And I would be talking about at 16 years old, sniffing lines of cocaine, fucking pimps. Do you understand what I'm saying? And dope boys. Like, that's my background. But I
Hmm.
would always tell the people that was around me, yo, one day I'm going to go to Hollywood. Now, that sounded crazy and looked crazy at the time. Imagine the scene. You in a damn, after hours club, everybody getting high, everybody drinking, dope boys, pimps, and hoes, and the bartenders from the club, and I'm up here talking about I'm gonna go to Hollywood and I'm gonna be a star. I had that dream as a kid. And that's why it's such a flex, honestly, to even have an acting school. Nigga, I don't even have a GED. And not that I'm bragging about that, and not that I'm saying education isn't important, because it is. My mom was on drugs. Me and Sidra had not known our father ever, didn't meet him until we were 52 years
For
old.
our
I can't believe I'm
listeners,
talking about this.
Sidra is your twin sister. For
Yes,
those that do not know, when she refers to Sid, she's talking about a twin sister. And
yes.
as you talk about this, you talk about the mom being on drugs. You talk about not knowing your father until you were 52. And the choices that were made. I just want to take a second to highlight that the biggest successes come from the worst bottoms at times. And what I mean
Hmm.
by that is like when you don't have another option and your only option is figuring it out, when your only option is just moving forward because you're at the worst side of it, 9 times out of 10, a lot of those people find ways to come out ahead because the worst you're already familiar with and you get
Absolutely.
comfortable with that. Okay, so every step of progression is one that's great because hey, if this doesn't go right, well, it's fine.
Yep.
Going back there, I've been there. I'm comfortable there. So I think it's important for our listeners to like really take away what I like to call the gems of the moment, right? And the gem is like, hey, yeah, no, this was fucked up. Not having a mom making the choice to do drugs or whatever, it was fucked up. But somehow you managed to still have a dream. Somehow you managed to still say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get to Hollywood and I'm going to get there and I'm going to figure it out. My question is, how the fuck and why the fuck is that even an idea of yours when you're in that space? Why is Hollywood even a focusing point for you at that time?
I tell you, it was just a dream that was in my heart. And I remember I heard this saying before, saying that our dreams are not figments of our imagination, but God showing us a glimpse of our future. So as a little girl, when I had that dream, I didn't realize that I was time traveling at that time into
Wow.
my future, that God was literally showing me my future. Even as a director, I would dream about it and then I would do it. I'm like, I didn't think I was the
Wow.
smartest or the most talented. I didn't. I just had the dream. And I was telling my employee this. I said, a lot of times, because I remember those moments and I remember sleeping in my car at Venice Beach and thinking maybe I should go home. I had this little
Wow.
Ford Escort, Kev, and I would literally take my blankets and my clothes. I would throw all that stuff over myself and I would be sleeping at the beach and waiting
Wow.
for friends to wake up to see whose house I could shower at. Or I would go into the bathroom at the beach and I would wash up. But you know why I didn't go home? Because I felt like I had this dream. So what do I have to lose just to see if God would
Wow.
possibly do it? Like I
Wow.
just literally wanted to stay in it long enough just to see if it would come true. And I do my work like that right now. I'll pursue the craziest things just to see if God will do it.
I
I
mean, that's
will,
insane.
yeah, yeah. But I've seen them do stuff. So it's really exciting. And so I feel like it starts with your dream. It starts with your vision. It starts with what's in your heart. And you have to pursue it. You got to be a good steward over it, though. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to act. I didn't even know how to read. I dropped out of school in the ninth grade. I was so insecure about reading. I would have anxiety attacks, Kev, if I had to read in front of people. That's how I would literally full blown anxiety attacks because I felt so insecure and I felt stupid because I didn't have the education. I would go into some rooms, believe it or not, believe me. Could you imagine me not talking in a room because I was afraid to sound stupid? Could you imagine that shit? Me
No,
walking in a room
no,
and being
Tasha. I'm gonna be
quiet?
honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. No, Tasha. That's the last thing that I can imagine. Absolutely not. No, I can't. So you
Yeah.
telling me this is news to me. But you saying like you couldn't read, you couldn't do these things. Of course, that's like, that presents like, I guess you could say the major moments or moods of discomfort as you're stating now. But to fix that or correct that, all right, well, you got to go figure out the best way to get some education. You got to go figure out the best way to learn. What were the steps to do that? How did you go and step into the place of like saying, no, I'm gonna figure this out. This is unacceptable. I'm gonna put this place of change in play now. What was
I
that play
know
for
this
you?
is going to sound real corny, but you know what made me really start reading was church and acting class.
Why do you think that sounds corny? That doesn't
I
sound
mean, I don't
corny.
know, but I'm just saying that that was really what made me get into the discipline of education. When I was in church all the time and in ministry school, I had to read a lot. When I was in acting class, my mentor and teacher, Ivana Chubbuck, I remember she threw me out of class and she told me I was not going to be welcome back if I did not read the whole play or the entire script.
Wow.
And because I would try to just read my scene and then go in and put it up in class, but then I didn't know anything else about the story because I wasn't disciplined in reading because I was just in the streets my entire life. You know what I mean? I wasn't like a reader. I think I read one book maybe, and that was like a Malcolm X book that a nigga gave me that I was fucking.
We might be. I think we may be. I probably. I want to make this very clear. I don't have a tremendous amount of books under my belt. I have read my fair share, but I'm not a book reader. But what I am a article. I'm an article junkie. I am a story
Mhm.
junkie. And I'm like a I can listen. Like I like to listen to the book. I like to
Mhm.
listen to the actual experience, process it, and multitask while doing it. But I think it's because I'm always on the go. So like to
Mhm.
read, you got to be confined. You got to sit down, and this is a moment for you to have to self, and you're taking all this in. Because I'm so bop 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 all the time.
Mhm.
I can do it if I'm in the gym and I'm listening, or if I'm on the
Mhm.
plane and I'm listening, or if I'm going and heading to and in between. I can get things and feed the brain with information that way.
Mhm.
But as you say that, and as you say, like, look, it was church and it was this, like, it's crazy the things that act as your motivational sources, right?
Right.
Like, you sometimes you don't know where that energy or that engine is going to come from, but when
Right.
it comes, it comes. So at this point, when you're like, okay, fuck it, I gotta fix it, I'm gonna fix it, you start to fix it. At what moment, this is a great question I'm about to ask, at what moment did the light bulb of progression in your life shine the brightest? When did you say, wow, the person that I used to be and the person that I'm becoming are two different people, and this life of old has to be just that? It has to be the life of old. Like, what was your transition into the life of new? with an understanding that I made great steps, great progress. And in order for me to continue going this way, I'm gonna have to leave some of this shit back. Don't mean that maybe all of it is behind, but you had to make a decision to cut it off at some point. When and why is my
Well,
question.
I've gone through several stages of that, honestly. Like, I have gone through several stages of that. The first stage I remember at like 24, 25, which is when I quit drugs. Like, and I mean like all the cocaine and all of that, because I felt like I can't move forward in life. I had been doing drugs since I was 14. I knew I had to clean it up because I was irresponsible. I couldn't handle things. And then after that, I feel like probably within the last 10 years, Kev,
Mm-hmm.
things really shifted for me,
Mm-hmm.
where I got to a point where I was just like, fuck what people think about me. Like, I don't care. I had to stop caring about what people thought, and I had to stop feeling that I
Mm.
had to take everybody with me. I literally had to be at peace with having new relationships and cutting off things that I felt kept me stuck in the old man.
Mm.
Do you
Mm.
follow me?
Okay.
Because
Yes.
when
Yes, I
you
do.
change and when you grow, a lot of times people, they don't appreciate it because there's like a level of manipulation that people can have over you if they keep you stuck in your old self, if
Okay.
that makes any sense. Do you
It
follow what
does.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, it
and
does.
so when I got to the point where I stopped feeling guilty about feeling like, oh, just because you were my friend for the last 15 years, that I got to try to make this relationship work for the next 15 more years.
Mm-hmm.
No, this did us both a beautiful service and we got something equally out of it. But now we're on different paths and I'm okay with that.
It's the living for other people. It's
Yes.
when you're not living for yourself, but yet you're living for the approval of other people.
You
And
say
the
stuff.
approval, the approval of others is sometimes what holds you up into a space of disapproval from you to yourself. Because you're
Mhm.
afraid to say no. You're afraid to say you don't want to. You're afraid to hurt the
Mhm.
feelings of. And,
Mhm.
I call it a prisoners of one's emotions. Your
Yes.
emotions should not dictate or navigate unless it's a significant partner or significant other, the way that I move. And if I'm
Yeah.
trying to do things differently, I can't allow one's expectations or wants or needs attached to how we are or used to be
Right.
to really hold me up from becoming
Yeah.
the person that I'm supposed to be.
And Kevin, when you think about our emotions are expensive. I'm
Mm,
going to say they cost a lot. You know why? Because that's how we're able to navigate through everything that we do as an actor, as a director, as a
I
teacher.
agree.
It's a very emotional space. I'm utilizing all of my emotions. So they're expensive. So I can't allow people in my space that's going to try to take all of my emotion. That is the way that I'm able to navigate in the world and be creative. It costs. I can't give it all to you because I got to give my emotions and my energy to these actors that I got to empower, to
I
this set
agree.
that I have to direct, to this role that I have to portray. I cannot afford to give all of my shit to somebody. You know what my new saying is, Kev?
What is it?
I'm not spinning the block on bullshit.
I love it.
I'm not
I lo-
spinning the block on bullshit. If you coming to me with bullshit, I'm not going to keep spinning the block on that. I'm not going to be a hamster wheel. Like, I'm not going to be that hamster in this loop of bullshit. So I'm not spinning the block on that. So if that's what you coming with, I'm not going to be, but I'm not doing it. Period.
I I love it, and I can relate. I think that uh the biggest the biggest things that a lot of people have a trouble understanding is prioritizing themselves.
Yeah. Because they
prioritizing
think
themselves
selfish is a
first.
bad word, and it's not.
It's not.
It's
not.
not. If you understand the word, it's not. It's not a bad word. And some of us need to become more selfish. We'd be healthier mentally, emotionally, and financially.